Hi, everyone. I'm Robin Cartwright, and welcome to my channel. I'm the Career Empowerment Coach, and welcome to the Unlock Your Block. I normally do this as a podcast, but I've moved it to YouTube for the time being. I will be putting it back on the podcast here shortly. I have a lot going on, and YouTube's just a real easy way to put the word out. So today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about careers and when you run into hiccups like being laid off, fired, and having the perseverance to continue on. I wanted to also kind of tell you a little bit about my story in hopes that it might relate to you and what I've learned along the way. So let's not delay. We're going to do some housekeeping. If you like this video, please put a thumbs up. And if you're interested in my channel, subscribe, and then I can put more videos out there. I'm going to try to be putting videos out twice a month. So we're going to talk about all types of things this season, everything from going out on your own to be a coach or consultant. We're also going to talk about manifesting your career. We're going to talk about different ways of moving into leadership, communication. I mean, the world's your oyster. It's just a lot going on, and I'm excited to bring it to you. And again, I will get this back out on a podcast, but for right now, I just wanted to get the word out to you as soon as possible. So thanks for attending my channel or coming to my channel. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about when you're in a rut and let you know I was, 56 years old when I was laid off. And that was not my first layoff. I'd been laid off many times in my career, but that was the first big layoff. And I was much older. I had a son in high school. He was about to graduate and go to college. And I remember thinking when it happened, like, oh, no big deal. I'm going to get a job right away. And because in the past, I'd always bounced back real quick. I was able to land another job. I did consulting for a long time. I was always able to quickly get onto another opportunity. And I thought, well, at the most it'd be 3 months, nothing big, won't take very long. Well, that 3 months turned into a year and a half. A year and a half, people. Hardest time of my life. I I can't even begin to tell you the emotions and the roller coaster I was on. It took me a long time to figure things out, so I wanted to get out here and tell you what happened so that you're not feeling alone, that you understand that it's just a hiccup in your life and that you can turn it around. So when it first happened, like I said, it was real positive. I thought, oh, no problem. I'll get a job right away. I wasn't really worried about it. I was kind of getting out there trying to do consulting. I was trying to get my coaching practice up and running because I had a real, calling that I needed to get out there and serve people. But what I realized, and yes, I need to get out there and serve people and tell you my story and share with you what I've gone through, and I am in service to you. But what I realized is that wasn't my calling to make money to pay my bills. That was my calling to get out there and to tell you. So hence I did a podcast. I've now got a YouTube channel, and I am still continuing to do this while I work a full-time job. So that's part of the reason why I can't always do the podcast, but we're getting out there. It took me a long time, I'd say about 3 or 4 months, to really try to figure out, what is it I want to do? I was trying to go after the exact same job I had before. And I worked for a great company, worked with a great team. It was really hard. And I went through a lot of depression because I lost this job. I was older. I was also scared. I was terrified of the fact that my son wouldn't be able to go to college. I wouldn't be able to get a loan for him because of the fact that I didn't make any money. I was just absolutely freaked out inside. I wasn't telling anybody this, and I was wrestling with a lot of things. I didn't want to be poor, sitting on the street. I'd worked so hard to get to where I was in my career that the idea of losing it overnight was just tore me up. So I tried to do some consulting. little here, little there, couldn't really get anything, tried to find some temporary work, couldn't really get anything. I was going after the exact same job that I had before, which I was the head of a talent acquisition team at a pharmaceutical company. And I thought that's what I needed to do, would be the head of a recruiting team at a pharma or medical device or something like that. But what I realized in this journey is I had a lot of other skills and I just needed to kind of pivot and do it a little differently. So I worked really hard on trying to find the same thing. I was coaching people at the same time to bring in a little money here and there to pay some bills. And I was doing a little consulting in HR here and there. And I finally, I think it was after about a year, a friend of mine told me, why don't you have such a diverse background? You've done HR, because I did that for years as a consultant in my own business. But a lot of the people that I knew that were in HR had already fallen off. They retired, they weren't doing it anymore. So I didn't have any ins into companies, but it didn't mean I didn't know the work. I kept going to all the legal updates. I kept reading about what was going on in the state and the federal government, as in the laws. I could still do the job. And I was a coach. So anybody who was going to hire me was going to get an HR person, a talent acquisition person, and a coach, all wrapped up in one package. Pretty good. I didn't realize that I had all those skills. I know it seems silly, but it didn't. I like put them in compartments. I had this skill, I had this skill, I had this skill. I didn't feel like I had all the skills wrapped into one until my girlfriend said that. She said to me, coach you the way you would coach anybody else. So I put my coaching hat on, I coached myself, and I put myself through my coaching program. When I did that, I realized, oh my gosh, I have all these skills. I need to wrap this into one package. I finally did that. And then things started to happen. I started getting some phone calls. I started getting some interviews, but that wasn't the kicker. The kicker was when I put my mind into what I wanted to do. I really started feeling it and knowing that I could do this job and I could move into this HR role that I wanted to be. And when I realized that, when I believed in myself, is when things started happening. And I always coach that we are what we think. So if you put it out there, you are it. But the trick is you have to believe it. If you're just telling somebody, oh, I can do this, this, and this, but you don't really believe it, it's not going to start happening. Then I put the train on the tracks and it started happening. I started getting the interviews. I got the opportunities. I did get an offer. I actually got 2 offers and I had to make a decision. So it was kind of exciting. But you can do this too. And I know how tough it can be because I literally, during this time, my unemployment ran out. I didn't know how I was going to pay bills. I was charging credit cards and trying to keep myself above water. And when I did finally land the job, it took me a long time to get those credit cards paid off and get myself back on track. But it can happen and you can do it. So I just wanted to let you know that you can go from rags to not quite riches, but success real easy. And during this time, I used myself as my coach. I used my friends as my coach. I used my mentor as my coach, my former mentor in my former job. So find somebody that you can reach out to and talk to them about what you're going through. If you'd like to work with me, you can. I'm at robincartwright.com. The link is below. I do 30-minute meetings. They're free just to talk to you to see if it's something that we can work together. But you can move from where you are now into a successful position. There's also another link on my website, or I will put it on my website, of another gentleman who went through a similar thing. And, he just thought life was over. And all of a sudden, pivot, you turn. Same situation. So just because you are older, you're feeling like you can't make it, I'm going to tell you that you can. But you need to get yourself, your head, you need to believe it. And if you need to do that, that's what a career empowerment coach does, empowers you to move forward. So again, I'm Robin Cartwright. You can reach out to me at robincartwright.com. Love to work with you. If not, hope this video helps you to stay positive, and there's more coming. So thank you for spending time with me. And I understand your fate, your flight, your situation. But remember, we are what we think, and you can turn this around.